All right, we're about to dive into one of the most powerful ideas in personal finance, straight from the classic book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And let me tell you, this isn't about working harder or just earning more money. Nope, it's about a massive shift in how you think, a shift that can genuinely unlock financial freedom.
So let's just start with a really thought-provoking question, okay? What if the biggest reason that so many of us struggle with money
has absolutely nothing to do with how much we earn, but everything to do with the fact that nobody ever really taught us how money actually works? I mean, just let that sink in. Getting this one idea is the foundation for, well, everything else we're going to talk about.
So here's the bottom line. Our money problems often don't come from a gap in our paycheck. They come from a giant gap in our understanding of money itself.
And, where does that gap come from? Well, according to the book, it points right back to the one place we're supposed to learn things: school. It's about the education we received, or maybe more accurately, the education we never got. And this right here, this just says it all, doesn't it? On the one hand, school is great at teaching us math, science, history, all super important subjects. But then, look at what's missing. How to actually invest your money, how taxes really work, how to build wealth from the ground up. These are the things that change your life.
And this is the end result. We get really, really good at being employees. We're trained to trade our precious time and our hard work for a paycheck. But the real secret, the key to all of this, is flipping that whole equation around and learning how to make our money work hard for us.
Okay, so how in the world do we make that happen? Well, it all kicks off by developing a brand new way of thinking, a concept that Rich Dad, Poor Dad calls financial intelligence.
Now, financial intelligence might sound super intimidating, but it's really not about crazy hard math. It's just about understanding four things: how money moves, that's your cash flow; how to make it grow, that's investing; how to protect it, that's managing risk; and finally, how to spot good opportunities that other people just walk right past. Really, it all boils down to knowing what puts money in your pocket versus what takes it out.
You see, this is the question that most of us are programmed to ask our whole lives. It's that employee mindset, right? How can I work more hours, or get a raise, or get a promotion to earn more? It's a straight line, and it's exhausting. But now, compare that to this. The financially intelligent mindset asks something completely different. It's not about earning more. It's about creating systems where your money starts to multiply all by itself. See the difference? That's the path to real wealth. Okay, but let's be real for a minute. Shifting your whole mindset isn't just some fun intellectual exercise. It involves a very real and honestly sometimes pretty tough internal battle against one of the strongest human emotions there is: fear. And these fears, they're completely normal. I mean, the fear of losing money, of taking a risk on something you've never done before. These feelings are there to keep us safe in our comfort zone. The only problem is that financial comfort zone is exactly what stops you from growing. And this quote just hits the nail on the head. It's not about being fearless. Nobody is. It's all about learning to manage the fear and acting anyway. Successful people don't let fear drive the bus. They just acknowledge it's along for the ride and keep going.
So once you start to get a handle on that fear, how do you turn all this knowledge into an actual, practical strategy? Well, this is where we stop just thinking and start doing.
You can read every single book on finance ever written, but if you don't actually apply it, nothing changes. The real secret, the one thing that separates people who succeed from those who just dream about it, is taking that first step, especially when you're feeling unsure. And this breaks down the strategy perfectly. It's so simple, but so powerful. See, most of us do this completely backward. We get a paycheck and immediately buy liabilities, things that cost us money. The wealthy, they focus on step one first: build assets. Things like investments or businesses that make them money. Then, they use the income from those assets to buy their luxuries. It is a total reversal of priorities. All right, let's pull all this together. When you follow this path, you change your mindset, you manage your fear, and you take action, it leads to the final transformation. Because the ultimate goal here isn't just about being rich, it's about being free. And look, if you only take one single thing away from all of this, please let it be this: the money is just the result. It's the symptom. The real cause, the engine that drives all the change, is how you think. So let's recap the big lessons here. First, and this is the big one, stop working for money. Your new focus is on creating systems and assets that work for you, 24/7. Second, you have to know the difference between an asset and a liability. It's simple. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes it out. Your mission is to acquire as many assets as you can. And finally, the most important lesson of all. Your single greatest asset is your mind. What you put into it is what's going to drive your success, so you have to invest in your financial education constantly.
This whole incredible journey, it all starts with one small step, and it starts today. So the question really isn't if you should start, but how. What's the first thing you are going to learn about right now to move yourself forward?